Stand up. Nigel Farage and life peer Kate Hoey cheers Boris Johnson out of EU shackles. Presenter Nigel Farage and life peer Kate Hoey skewered Prime Minister Boris Johnson and demanded he stands up against the European Union by coming down hard on the Northern Ireland Protocol conflict as a way to prove he cares about the UK, even if it means invoking Article 16. Nigel Farage demanded Boris Johnson follows the first job of being Prime Minister and maintain the integrity of the United Kingdom as the leader is faced with a difficult situation in Northern Ireland. Mr Farage said the movement and trade issues surrounding the Northern Ireland Protocol need to be addressed with Mr Johnson pressured to stand up to Ursula von der Leyen so he can finally put Brexit issues to bed. Mr Farage was joined by Baroness Kate Hoey who also lambasted Mr Johnson after Mr Farage concluded if standing up for the national interest, which may involve triggering Article 16, caused a huge row then so be it. Speaking, Mr Farage and Baroness Hoey were invited to reflect on the Brexit debate so far with the pair wasting no time slamming those responsible for the negotiations. Mr Farage said he was 75% happy with how Brexit has gone but stressed he still had issues with the Northern Ireland Protocol. But the former Brexit Party leader said it offered an opportunity for Boris Johnson to stand up to the European Union and to dictate how the relationship would be like with the bloc in the future. Mr Farage wanted Mr Johnson to be firm and prove the UK could not be pushed around and said, well, Ursula von der Leyen was more than happy at the height of her panic over vaccines to bring back a hard Irish border. And the irony of that seems to be lost on everyone and being forgotten about. Look, I think at the end of the day, the first job of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is to maintain the integrity of the country. Despite public assurances that Boris Johnson gave that is not the way that it's worked out, whether he understood that fully at the time, I don't know. Perhaps Northern Ireland was the Barnier poison pill that was there inside the treaty, but as Kate says, for the long term, and particularly given where we're going to be on October 1st. At some point, we are going to have to say I'm sorry we can't put up with this and of course the same arguments would come from big business. But at some point, Boris Johnson has to stand up for the totality of our national interest and if that means a great big row, so be it. From October 1st, new food importation rules will be put in place which will require vets to inspect shipments of meat, fish and dairy products, produce certificates and file declarations. UK importers will need to declare the goods with the Department for Food, Environment and Rural Affairs with further physical checks on all goods will follow next January. This follows an extension to the chilled meats entering Northern Ireland from Great Britain which would be restricted under the Brexit deal. Baroness Hoey shared her views on the Brexit agreement and said the UK should not be scared to invoke Article 16 to send shockwaves across the EU. Article 16 of the Northern Ireland Protocol allows either side to unilaterally suspend parts of the agreement in times of emergency. The EU temporarily invoked it earlier this year to install a hard border across Ireland to monitor vaccines entering Great Britain from Europe. She told the programme, "We have gone over international laws in the past, they're not set in stone and things change, the world moves on, countries move on. We're gonna see a lot of changes now given what's happened in Afghanistan with international treaties, I would think." Article 16 was specifically put in to give an opportunity to look again. I mean, the process of Article 16 is actually very long-winded and it's not as instant as it would happen. I think if we were to invoke Article 16, then that would actually send a shockwave to the European Union, if anything shocks them, that we are prepared to do that. Lord Frost made it very clear that the criteria have been met. Baroness Hoey added those who are suffering because of the protocol are asking why the UK government does not invoke Article 16 to address the issues. She agreed with Mr Farage and said the best way for Boris Johnson to prove the UK matters to him is to start by invoking Article 16 to iron out the issues in Northern Ireland.